Shalom. All praises to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, RAWCHAA, QADASH. Double honors to the elders and apostles who rule well and teach well. Salutations to the hopeful elect. Salutations to the men out there laboring in truth and in sincerity. In this video, we're going to be talking about the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth, aka Mystery Babylon the Great. Okay, now, it's not really a mystery anymore. I'm sure there's some people think it's the Vatican. Some people think it's Iraq, somewhere in Iraq. Some people think, that it's anywhere but where it truly is, all right? But today, I'm going to unveil that mystery, because we're in a pivotal time of prophecy in which the evidence is aligning with scripture, where you actually can read the scripture and you can visualize exactly, based on the characteristics, who Babylon the Great is right today. It's not geographically Babylon, where Iraq used to be and where Iraq is now, but it's actually another place. It's Babylon the Great. All right, so first chapter and verse we're going to read is Habakkuk 2, starting at 2. It says, and YAHAWAH answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is not yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. All right. So the vision that was written in the prophecy, that includes the 7-headed dragon with the 10 horns, the beasts, right? Those are visions, but now they're being interpreted, because this is the end, and it's speaking very loud and clear. Once you read these verses that I'm going to read, and I'm going to bring out evidence that you can find in the public domain, then you will see. Okay, and it's not something that you can go against, or it's very, I'd say it's very evident on who Babylon the Great is. All right. So without further ado, let's go to Revelations 17. We're gonna start at 1. All right, so because we're living in revelation. These things are being revealed. Okay, like it said, the vision at the end, it will speak. All right, actions speak louder than words, and they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? So now visually that we can see these things, it's actually speaking to us and letting us know, hey, this is Babylon the Great. All right. So Revelation 17 verse 1. And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. All right. So visually, John the Revelator is seeing these similitudes, because these are similitudes for a bigger picture. So he's actually seeing, a whore. He's actually seeing a dragon. He's actually seeing the physical counterparts of what the interpretation of it actually means. Okay. All throughout the prophets, whenever the Most High, he gave them prophecy, it was always through visions. You know, it was not always plain, okay? Just like dreams. In dreams, you have certain things that happen, and to try to interpret those things, you're like, okay, why did the spider go up above the spout, and why did the rain fall down and wash the water? You know, something like that, but it's actually a deeper meaning behind it, obviously. All right, so the whore that sitteth on many waters. It says, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. All right. So the whore that sitteth upon many waters represents a nation. Okay. The waters represents people. Okay. Let's prove that. Let's see. In fact, I think it's further down in this chapter. Yeah, it is further down in the chapter. Alright, so the waters which thou sawest where the whore sitteth are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. Okay. So as you could see, this whore is sitting on this water is sitting on people, right? Meaning they have the it's different nations. They speak the language, right? Because that's what the tongues represents. So this whore, meaning, and also let's go back to it. Committed, with whom the kings of the earth had committed fornication. Fornication simply just means, in biblical terms, the original term is being sexually immoral, meaning the wife of a husband, she goes and she commits adultery with another man. Or when a man, he has sex with a woman who's already married, that's fornication. Or in the spiritual sense, for example, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, right? Following YAHAWAH, but then Israel, they committed spiritual fornication by committing idolatry or going after other gods, because Israel is likened unto a woman, the nation. Okay, so when they commit fornication, it's actually making trying to make covenants with other gods. Okay, in this situation, the kings of the earth have committed fornication, meaning they have made covenants and alliances and have been confederate, and this whore, this nation, the whore that represents a nation, she has been in everybody's land. She has influenced everybody on the earth, and that is she's made everybody drunk on the earth with the wine of her fornication, meaning that wine is an influencer, and it represents the philosophies, the ideologies, all of those sorts of things, opinions, policies, regulations, all those things have an influence of the people of the earth, in which she has made the people drunk off of. And when you get drunk, what happened? Some people, they go mad, they go crazy. Some people, when they get drunk, they have an impaired judgment, right? It's a lot of things, but basically it influences you. You under that influence. All right. All right, so continuing on. It says, so he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. All right. So I want to break down specifically just, the woman, who the woman is. The beasts, I can break down the 7 heads and 10 horns in another video, right? But specifically, we're talking about, because the dragon, or the beast, the scarlet colored beast is the dragon, which represents Esau, Edom, who has rule over the whole world at this moment. And those 7 heads represents empires. The horns represents the powers, the different kings, the major kings, right, of the earth. But the woman, right, she is controlled. She's sitting on top of the beast. She's in control of the whole of the beast, right? So this is going to give you the clue of who's Babylon the Great, because who has the most influence. We're going to find that out. Matter of fact, we can find that out right now. All right, take a look at this. So I searched up. This is the mystery revealed. All right. I couldn't wait any longer. I just had to go ahead, and I'm going to expound further, other characteristics of Babylon the Great and how the US of A is related to Babylon the Great, mystery Babylon the Great. All right, so this is on US News, but if you just type it in Google, who has the most influence, there are, statistically speaking, there's many other websites that can back this up, this claim. It says the United States of America is a Northern American nation that is the world's most dominant economic and military power, right? Likewise, its cultural imprint spans the world, led in large part by its popular culture expressed in music, movies, and television. Okay, so that's also her sorcery, her media, right? Because media is basically a medium in which you can perform all types of enchantments on the people and influence people as well. That's also her influence. So from now on, I'm going to refer to Babylon the Great as a her, or USA as a her or she, so you can understand more the context. All right, so moving on, we're gonna look at some more too. It says, and the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. Right? So she has all of these. She's arrayed in this lofty attire, these garments that would make one proud, that has royalty, right? She's arrayed with all of these royal accessories. But also she has this golden cup. That golden cup is where the wine, of her fornication. So all of those things, all of those influences, which culturally impedes on the other nations, is in this cup. In this cup, you got all types of philosophies like feminism, right? Their democracies. What else? You have their different agendas and propaganda, all in this cup. And in this cup, it influences and it makes the other countries go mad. All right. And upon her head was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. I think United States was one of the main nations that was the first nation to make same-sex marriage lawful. Okay? Amongst other things that Biden has passed, right? It says, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints. This woman, she is high. She's high off of the blood of the saints. And the martyr, it says, and with the blood of the martyrs of YAHAWASHI. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. All right, because we know this land, you know, her land, she was built by blood, right? She's a bloody city. She's had slaves. She's killed and almost tried to genocide people. All types of bloodshed is the result of who she is today. Her economic power and willpower, her stoutness, the way she's proud is because of that blood that she drunk. And you know, when you drink blood too, that is a form of witchcraft. You know, there's rituals that, you know, you do while drinking actual blood, that gives you, you know, on the left-hand side, that gives you some type of power, right? So she's drunk. That means she's had a lot of blood. She shed a lot of blood on this land just to have this power, you know, this influence. All right, so let's go to the next chapter. I want to get, so now we know who she is. Now we know who the mystery whore is, right? U.S. of A. All right, so this is Revelations 18, verse 3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Okay, so she, you know, the U.S. of A., she has made many deals and she has made many alliances, you know, with the NATO, you know, the National Atlantic Treaty Organization. She's a part of that World Trade Organization. So she deals with a lot of trading, a lot of deals. She's in the bed with a lot of different countries, a lot of different nations of the earth. Okay. So that's that fornication. She's over here, she's over there. Shoot, actually, we can go back to Habakkuk 2. Verse 5, it says, yeah, also because he transgresses by wine, he is a proud man. All right, remember the scarlet colored beast represents the Edomites in power. She, the whore sitting on top of the beast, is in control of the beast. United States, the top Edomite nation, right? So of course it's actually talking about a man who has the power, but she as a country represents a nation. All right, so this man, it says he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell. Right, so you know, the US of A is constantly meddling in other, you know, international political matters that has nothing to do with them. And also he has many bases all around the world. All right. So his desire, he's covetous, right? It says, but gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. And also, in this melting pot, you got many nations, many tongues. Just about every person in the world, I would say every person from all over the world, like all cultures, all nations, they live in America. And, so that's another way to look at it, how she has committed fornication and she's influenced all of these people, all of these nations. But you got all of these nations in one country, right? I don't think I know any other country that has every nation within it. All right, so let's go to look at another picture. All right, so this is another Google search I did. I think I said which country has the most military bases. So as you can see, this man, he keepeth not at home. It says the US of A, for instance, has more than 750 military bases across 80 countries and has deployed this is as of 2023, deployed nearly 175,000 soldiers in 159 countries of the world, which proves them a key edge over foes and the capability to remain within striking distance if a conflict was to break out. All right, here's another picture, another search. Of course, we know the country with the most influence in the world is the US of A. This is the US undoubtedly tops the chart of the world's most influential countries. Now remember that wine of fornication, it represents influence. So all these other countries are under the influence of the US of A, which is why she is sitting on top of the beast, really leading the show. All right. So this is leading the world in science, sports, technology, etc. I believe all of the sports, such as football and basketball, originated in America. Technology, you got Apple, Microsoft, Amazon. All of these are pioneers of the world's technology. Apple is the largest company as far as technology in the world, where everybody in the world is influenced under, right? This is the country features the most the most powerful economy and military, followed by a huge economy. All right. Largest company, hundreds of overseas military bases and leadership positions in various international institutions. Right. So she also has a lot of embassies, right, in different lands. Let's go back to Revelation. She got embassies. She's got military bases, all in different countries. Actually, I want to read down a little bit more. Because this is Habakkuk 2 verse 8, because thou hast spoiled many nations. All the remnant of the people shall spoil thee because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. So she has spoiled many nations. This is through that colonialism, right? and I would say neo-colonialism, because she has infiltrated other nations economically by trying to build, trying to be that help and build, infrastructure, let them know like, hey, we can help you. So she comes, you know, I'll just say the king of this nation, US of A, they decide to come over to different countries as if they're trying to help. And then once they get infiltrated, they spoil them, right? And they take their resources. Let's see what the word spoiled means. Spoil, it means to draw out, to plunder, take spoil, to plunder, to be plundered. All right. Make yourself a prey. Yeah, of purpose, make a take, spoil. So basically, look, as you can see, it says to drop or strip. So when you plunder something, when you take, when you spoil, when you strip, they strip the lands of resources. So they go over there and say they're gonna help them, but really they're trying to exploit their land. And that's what it means right here when it says, because thou hast spoiled many nations, right? And because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, the city, and of that dwell therein. So she's also shed a lot of blood too as well. All right, it says, woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Right, so that nest, the highest flying bird in the sky, I believe, or no, not the highest flying bird, but that bird that sits high is an eagle, which represents, the US of A, right? Constantly coveting other nations' lands and resources. That's why they infiltrate and they set up bases. They set up embassies. They set up trade routes. All right, so let's go back to Revelation 18. All right, so Revelation 18. And let's go on down to, let's go to verse 7. It says, how much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her, for she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall need see no sorrow. So this country, this nation, she is so proud that she thinks she's going to rule forever, right? And that these countries, these other nations are gonna be be there for her benefit, right? She's lived deliciously, like she has the US of A has the top technological advances, top economy. Of course, now in today's time, she's losing her luster. She's become older, and she's not the same that as she used to be back in the day when she was a little bit more ripe. So, but in this time, she believes that she's gonna remain at the top forever and see no sorrow. Right? So we know the US of A has lived deliciously, has been able to be considered a first world country, to have all of these privileges. Honestly, the people in this nation are very spoiled, compared to a lot of other countries. I would say the US of A, for people to come and to migrate to this nation, just shows the influence and the power that she has. Everybody's trying to come here to live out that American dream, to get a piece of the pie, to become an influencer, to be rich. She's the home of the influencers, right? Because she has put that spirit on the people through her social media, her media outlets, the celebrities. All of these are part of her sorceries and enchantments, okay? So as you can see how much power that this whore, she has over the world. All right, this is verse 9. Yes, it says, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her, right? So other kings of the earth, other nations have also benefited off of her living deliciously, right? She has made deals with them, backdoor deals, also the practicing of idolatry. This country, I would say, has pretty much every philosophy, every religion, within this country, within her on her land, right? So that's another way that she commits fornication. The kings of the earth have committed fornication with her as well, because they have taken in part of certain covenants and agreements, right? So that they can live rich too as well. So that's the imports, the exports, right? That's how they're able to live rich. What else? And just the different technology, the different outlets of industrialism. They're able to outsource in the country. Everybody pretty much, other kings that live deliciously with her, they come over here and they set up shop. She gives them loans. You got all types of restaurants from all over the world. They're here. Also, you got different American restaurants that are also in other countries. So that's also a form of committing fornication, because they allow certain industries and manufacturers to be set up within their country, and she's allowed them to come over to set up their businesses in her soil, okay? So that is a fornicating, right? It says, and live deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, because the judgment of Babylon the Great, the judgment of the whore, the great whore, is burning, all right? And she's going to be burnt by nuclear ICBMs, okay? Because eventually everybody's going to turn on her and see, because they see the sins, everybody is starting to sober up, and they see the sins that she have committed on them, and they starting to see that she is not who they thought that she was. Her luster has failed. The makeup is looking bad. They really see her for who she really is. All right, this great city. But yeah, so that fornication is them doing. Oh, also, she does under the table deals, backdoor deals, in which to get political power over certain nations. She's treacherous. Very treacherous. Like trying to make under the public's, like not under the public's eye. She's making deals with other countries right now. spreading her democratic principles. These are all a part of that fornication. All right. All right, so let's move on. This is Babylon the Great. Verse 10. Well, we know the judgment is coming. Verse 11. It says, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth her merchandise anymore. All right? Because of that judgment has come. So once this place has been hit with ICBMs, which are nuclear missiles, they're going to realize, like, dang, now we cannot get rich from her anymore. Right? Because America is the leader of imports. All the countries, they, like I said, they're able to bring their businesses on her soil. And that's how they're able to get rich. So these are some of the characteristics. This is how, it's speaking right now. I can show statistics, of her import and exports to show that this is that mighty city, the great city. This is, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth her merchandise anymore. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all thine wood and all manner of vessels of ivory and all manner of vessels of precious wood and of brass and iron and marble. Think about too, silicon and all the things, all the resources that America needs to make their technology. That's also included as well. These are resources that are needed. And cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheats and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men. So we already know that she, the whore, is a big human trafficker, but also have the souls of men too, right? It says, and the fruits that they lusted, that your soul lusted after, are departed from thee, and all things which are dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of torment, weeping and wailing. All right, so let's go look at a picture real quick. Oh yeah, also, the way she is able to sway using, a lobby, using that influence is through the foreign direct investment, in which, she's able to, send money or foreign aid too. But basically, foreign direct investment is a category of cross-border investment in which an investor resident in one economy establishes a lasting interest in and a significant degree of influence over an enterprise residence in another economy. So this is what America is, the top leader of FDI, foreign direct investment, in which she directly invests in enterprises in other economies, right? And I know with this influence, this power, she's able to provide more of that wine, get that nation drunk, so that they can pass certain policies that will align with her democracy, okay? That will align with her socio-political climate, okay? As you can see, this is far, far exceeding, I would say all of the other nations put together who have FDI. foreign direct investment. But also, she's also the leader in foreign aid, right? Foreign aid contributions from the 30 major donors of the Development Assistance Committee. So she comes in, you know, the US of A, they come in and they invest, and they also provide foreign aid to other countries. And these countries, don't be surprised when you see that they have adopted a lot of the philosophies of the USA because of the help that they received, that salvation, if you will. But I wanted to look at the import. All right. You know what? We're just gonna hold on. Okay, here we go. This is a Google search. This is, I think I searched up, is the US the largest importer? It says US services, and this is off of official websites. It says US services exports to the European Union 27 were 238.6 billion. The United States is the largest service importer in the world. That's services. All right. Now we're talking about physical goods and services together. It says America is among the largest importers in the world, and the U.S. current trade deficit in physical goods and services was 621 billion. All right. So U.S. of A, the whore, is the top importer of the world. Okay. Right here, you can read on this is an official website. This is a government website. All right. It says the United States is the world's second largest trading nation, behind only China, with over 7.0 trillion in exports and imports of goods and services in 2022. All right. So, of course, second to China in exporting, but that's still pretty big considering that United States, they have a lot of, they deal with Microsoft and Apple and Amazon, which is pretty much rules the world, and Disney too. You got Disney as well, but they pretty much run this whole world. Everybody shops from Amazon. Everybody has Microsoft computers, different businesses as well. But mainly the importers, they can't get rich off the imports because, when Babylon the Great is destroyed, that's why the other nations and kings are going to be willing, because the United States is the largest goods importer in the world. All right, let's go back to Revelation 18. It says, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors, that's all of those. It says, and as many as trade by sea stood afar off. All right, so that's all of those shipping, trade ships, right? With all the shipping containers, the imports, all of those are going to be at a halt, right? But yeah, eventually she's going to get what's coming to her. Okay. It says 18, it says, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? Even still today now, people are still trying to get over here. Different immigrants, different citizens of different nations, they're trying to get vouchers and citizenship. They're a part of, you got certain families in different countries that are enlisted into a lottery in order just to come over to this great city. If it wasn't such a great city, then why are there's so many so-called illegal immigrants trying to get in this city, because obviously where their city is at, or where they live, is not compared. It can't compare to this supposed great city, Babylon the Great. She has that much pull. All right, even still today. All right, so verse 19 is, and they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, the great city wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness, for in 1 hour she made desolate. All right, so you got the transatlantic trade. You know, she's also, you can also say she's been made rich, right? Through the transatlantic trade, slave trade, okay? So those trades routes, they are still used to this day in order to trade goods and services. All right. So a slave is also considered a product or a good as well. But yeah, that's how this great city, was made rich. It's by the sea. All that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness. All right. Now let's go over to let's see. Continuing on to 23. It says, and the light of the candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee, for your merchants were the great men of the earth, for by your sorceries were all nations deceived. Okay, so the sorceries include, the use of media outlets, the use of their influence with the policies and rules and regulations, the lobbying, even the pharmaceutical, because sorceries in the Greek means pharmakia, and that means the use or the administering of drugs, poisoning. All right. So with the use of her drugs, right? You got the war on drugs. The biggest, honestly, US of A is the biggest drug peddler in the whole world. All right. So that's another form of her sorceries as well, that poison. You got poison within, the 3-letter F to the DA, right? They have all types of these regulations in which they impede in the food, they put in the food, they poison the people, right? And they try to send them out to other nations. I think there was also a controversy about Bayer, I believe, or one of those aspirin corporations, manufacturers within the US of A, in which they found out that the drugs, they were tainted with HIV, AIDS, or something like that, and they tried to sell it off to another country. That's part of her abominable works. Okay. All right, so the sorceries are also, look, it says the deceptions and seductions of idolatry. All right. So this is all that pharmakia, which is a $1 billion industry as well. But that's another video. All right, so let's go to verse 24. It says, and in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints and of all that were slain upon the earth, because we know that the Israelites, the true biblical Israelites, all 12 tribes are in this land, right? And in the future, you know, the prophets, they're going to have to be, they're going to be persecuted, right? The saints, they're going to be persecuted. These are the remnant of Israel, all right? And also she's, you know, the blood, it says, and in her was found the blood of the prophets and saints and all that were slain upon the earth. So also the city was already built up by the Israelites as well. So woe to the bloody city, okay? Woe to the bloody city. Let's go to Nahum 3. All right, this is Nahum 3 verses 1. Now this, it says Nineveh, right? But it's also compared to Babylon the Great as well. But it says, woe to the bloody city. It is all full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not. All right, so this is a bloody city. You know, of course, the whole country is the city, okay? Is that bloody city. You know, even during the times of the presidency after the US of A obtained their independence, they were still doing all types of wars, skirmishes, had all types of war in order to take over the whole land of the US of A. They had to fight the Native Americans. They killed a lot of Israelites. They did a lot of lying. They look at the Israelites as 3/5 of a human. They look at them as inferior. They did a lot of robbery, you know, stealing the lands, stealing the resources. All right, this is verse 4. So it's very evident, it's very profoundly evident who the great whore is, the US of A. It says, because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlots. So see, it's still talking about Babylon the Great. This is the living power. So a lot of these prophecies that you see that happen in the Old Testament, they're still talking about the New Testament as well. And you know what's going on now today, okay? It says, because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistresses of witchcrafts, that selleth nations through her whoredoms and families through her witchcrafts. All right. So that's plain right there. Let's go look at the NLT. All this because Nineveh, the beautiful, faithless city, mistress of deadly charms, enticed the nations with her beauty. She taught them all her magic, enchanting people everywhere. So who else but the US of A has done that? All right. Who else has influenced the people, you know, through her social media and propaganda? All right. I'm gonna read. I want to go to this last verse. I want to go to Ezekiel. Ezekiel 28. Ezekiel 28, verse 18. It says, thou hast defiled your sanctuaries by the multitude of your iniquities, by the iniquity of your traffic. Therefore will I bring forth a fire from the midst of thee. It shall devour thee, and I will bring thee to ashes upon the earth in the sight of all them that behold thee. And it says, all they that know thee among the people shall be astonished at thee. Thou shalt be a terror, and never shalt thou be anymore. All right, so this is very reminiscent in Revelation 18, where all of the kings and the merchants are looking afar off. You know what I'm saying? Because it says, by the iniquity of your traffic. So we know that the US of A is importing and exporting doing human trafficking, you know, And traffic is just talking about, that peddling, the imports, the exports, the goods, the services. All right. So she's also peddled her different ideologies and philosophies in other countries, done a lot of businesses, a lot of, a lot of iniquity laden goods and services, a lot of enchantments. Right. So it's because of all of these, all this iniquity of the traffic, the back and forth, and the deals made between other countries and the fornication, that she's going to be brought to naught, that she's going to be brought down, the proud eagle is going to be brought down to the ground. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So now we know who Babylon the Great is, who the great whore is today. At the end is speaking. You've seen all the characteristics of Babylon the Great is very, very much so parallel to the US of A. The scriptures speak it. All right. So Lord willing, this is edifying. All praises to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, for giving me the spirit to do this video. Till next time, Lord willing, Shalom.